Hey, everybody!
This is the Fall into Victory podcast with your host, teacher Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't ever let me say anything first. You always have to say something first.
The people came for me. Go ahead, do your intro.
All right, I'm not.
I'm
just going to introduce myself because I definitely just posted. At this point, you don't even need an intro,
That's
an introduction. So I'm not introducing you no more. I'm not introducing you to You got a nerve to try to correct somebody on proper English. Anyway, hey y'all. Good evening. Walk into. See, walk into. We better walk into victory.
Walk it out. I'm just.
Let me start, and then you can talk. Okay. Hey everybody, y'all already know what it is. It's Fall into Victory podcast with your host, teacher Rochelle, and I'm so glad that you are here. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see a thing tonight.
Okay, so maybe I'll be the one to see everything for you. I'm your eyes.
As you should be.
Amen.
Okay, I don't think I need to introduce my host anymore.
No, you need to introduce me. How are you?
I said at this point, I don't think he needs an introduction, but y'all already know it's y'all cousin. Get y'all cousin, please.
Blessings, peace being among all of you. Hello, how are you? How is everyone doing on tonight?
Y'all see, that's why he don't need an introduction.
Here we go. My mom said good evening.
Good evening.
We're here. So what happened? Why are we here an hour early today?
What?
Why are we here an hour early? Normally we're at 8 o'clock. Why are we at 7?
Because we're at 7. Why?
I mean,
sometimes we got to pivot and adjust.
Okay. So, I just want to tell the people we here.
It ain't none of their business.
Okay. I mean,
at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be asleep. Yeah. All right, y'all. Anyway, we don't want to be before you long.
Talk to the mic, please.
We don't want to be before you long.
Oh, you can maneuver it.
I hope you heard what I said.
Yes. Make it comfortable. Sit forward. How you was?
We.
They can hear you.
I'm just playing. All right. So anyway, we don't want to be before you long, but I figured that I'll let y'all cousin come back on so we could just talk about
peace and blessings.
What are you doing?
I'm just saying peace and blessings.
You act like you're supposed to have hair grease in your hair. Like that was a hair grease commercial. That was a blue magic. I said, or green because it is green. That looked like a green magic / blue magic commercial.
Oh my God, what are we talking about today?
All right, so I said tonight I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, but I think we're gonna just discuss 3 questions. I think these are very important questions to discuss. Okay. I think there's very important discussion to talk about.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about tonight.
Okay.
But
let's talk about it.
It's a lot of things I think I was going back and forth with a lot of things in my mind that I wanted to talk about because I think, the present times of this is not to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed. For real. But I just think the present times is getting real chaotic right now.
Okay.
But that's not what I wanted to talk about. But I was going to talk about that. But we was going to talk about how to stand firm.
Okay.
On the word. But that's not what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
You tell me.
All right, so I wanted to ask you a question, but of course I can answer this question too.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you 3 questions, and then my first question is about loving each other through challenging storms.
Okay.
And I think it goes for not just in relationships, but friendships, right? Even with your children, right?
Yeah.
But family. Right, but I think because it's you, it's me asking you the question about what it looks like to love someone through a hard season or through a challenging storm.
So what does it look like?
Yeah.
Okay. One, I will say,
I can't hear you. Move your mouth to the mic.
You don't have headphones.
I know. I'm just being smart.
So what I would say what it looks like is 1, loving the other person more than you love yourself.
Ooh, that's good.
I think that is very important because what happens is whenever an issue arises, if you love that person more than you love yourself, then you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Amen.
That's good. Okay, what else? That's it? That's all you want to say?
We got to go deeper. So we can go all through right now? Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, not that we got to go deeper, but I think I was going can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I was going to say was that One of the things that I was going to say is about the loving someone through the storm, but I was actually kind of like, I really wanted to compliment you, and I kind of wanted to just talk about the love part. So I think that people sometimes don't know how to, including myself, don't know how to characterize what love really means.
Yeah.
Right? So we just say, I love you because I'm calling you and I'm checking on you.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes love means patience.
Yeah.
Love means kindness.
Right.
Sometimes love means silence.
Yeah.
And I think that it depends on the season and what type of season it is to be. I need your undivided attention.
You hear? I'm with you.
Okay. So y'all, he be doing that to me sometimes, and I'm like, I'll just get silent and like, and look at him like the mom look. Are you listening? Yeah, I heard you. What's the last thing I said?
What's the last thing I said?
He can repeat it, but he don't know what I was talking about. He be like, wait, repeat that again. What's the last thing I just said?
Repeat that again.
Prior to that.
Hey, Josina.
Hey, Josina. No, so this is what I said. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying. Hey, Josina, but this is what I was saying. I said that loving people. No, you could do what you was doing. I was just messing. But loving people through challenging seasons or through hard seasons, I said sometimes we have to characterize what love looks like, right? What does actual love mean, right? What does that mean? What characteristics of love? Well, like what are we talking about right now? Yeah. And I said sometimes love looks patient.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean to be aggressive and, oh my God, I love you so much. You know I love you, right? It doesn't mean the words, right? But it means the action behind the word. So sometimes love looks patient. Sometimes love looks silent. Yeah. Sometimes it looks kind. Yeah. Sometimes it does look like overextending yourself and being selfless.
Right.
And I don't mean overextending yourself in a negative manner, but I just mean going out your way to serve someone. Yeah. But I think that love can mean a multiple of things. Right. But I think one of the things how we are able to love through hard and difficult seasons is really taking on God's love. Right. The fruit of the Spirit helps with conditioning yourself to be able to run the race. For real, yeah. Right? Yeah. During a hard season. But not only that, but also I think about sometimes during hard seasons, we can make it very self-centered. Right. And we forget that the other person is there going through the hard season, even if it's not them going to the hard season, the hard season, it's you going through the hard season. Yeah. But then you have the people around you that feel the symptoms of the hard season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wanted to commend you on, right, two things, right, I wanted to talk about. And I know we're very transparent, so I know you'll be fine with this. So one of the things that I did want to commend you on is when I went through what I thought was, I've already had hard seasons. Oh my God, that was the worst season of my life. And so glad I'm out of it. And then I look back and I'm like, man, that joint wasn't even that hard. Looking back, but when you're in the thick of it, it looks really hard. But I think the hardest season of my, thanking God in advance, prayerfully, because my birthday is in a couple of weeks, of my 43 years of living, I think the hardest season was when I was diagnosed with, when they diagnosed me with MS, which is multiple sclerosis, which is a debilitating disease that eats away at the protection, the myelin that protects your nerves. Yeah. And that's why sometimes people that have multiple sclerosis have tremors or walkers or canes, or they're bedridden because it's progressive and it eats away at the covering that covers up your nerves in your body. Yeah. Depending on just, where it is. And I think that it was hard because we were going through the pandemic, the start of the pandemic. And we did not even know what the pandemic was. Yeah. It was like, what is it? March, the pandemic hit. We were out of school, and in June, I got diagnosed. Yeah. And I think that was one of the hardest seasons of my life, I can say. But I think your support helps, right? Because it is. I'm walking in victory right now. Yeah. So even with that, with what science says, the evidence is still there, but I feel like my natural body feels it. We have days, but my natural body does not resemble what science says. But I think that you have been the most supportive, and you have shown me what love looks like through hard seasons. So I just wanted to commend you on that.
Amen. Amen. I will say that
I can't hear you. Move the mic to your mouth.
Put some headphones on there.
I'm just messing with you.
No, but seriously, I think that when people come to the realization, or they be informed, or they know, or they find out rather, that you do have a symptom called MS, they're blown away because you don't exhibit what MS typically looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and even though you had your moments of despair, moments of where a symptom may come up to where it may put you down for a little bit of time, or you have to take a time to reset.
Yeah.
It's not the life that you live. It's not evident into how you operate on a daily basis. It's not evident on how you function mentally. It's not evident on, when people see you walking in victory, they don't see the hard times that the enemy may come to try to convince you that you are to succumb to something that is opposite than healing. And so even within that, I watch how you are strong. You are faithful
Yeah.
with God, and you are really just pushing through and determined to be victorious on while you're walking through it. To where that encourages me. Well, if she feels this way, then in her weak moments, I will absolutely stand there and be strong.
Yeah.
I will absolutely lift her up to where whenever you become weak, me and God is going to be your strength.
Yeah.
And the reason why I am, and not just God alone, is because God has commissioned me to be the representative of Him in our home.
Yeah.
So even in that perspective, just biblically speaking, He has commissioned me to love Him like He loves the church. Love you like He loves the church, right?
Yeah.
So just from that perspective of me having that assignment, then I have to be able to love you in all things.
Yeah.
And exhibit what God would do in that moment.
Yeah.
So even when I don't know what to do in that moment,
yeah,
it's still my responsibility to consult the Father the way I know how to react or respond to the daughter.
And you know what's crazy? I think sometimes that people forget that God wants He wants to be in every intricate detail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of our lives.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. This years ago, He reminded me this is no lie. And sometimes I can't share with people things because they think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'll share it, but they'll be looking at me like, okay. But God told me that He wanted to be a part of every intricate detail of my life, down to the clothes that I wore to work.
Yeah.
He wanted me to consult Him about what should I wear today.
Yeah.
And I would not have an idea. And then I would stand in the closet stressed out looking for clothes for work. This was years ago. And then it was like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, God, what in the world am I going to wear? And then instantly, where you, not that I heard him, but that instant, visualization came to my mind of wearing a green shirt and blue pants. Just wear your jeans with your green shirt and wear these shoes. But He just was reminding me that I want every intricate detail to be a part of every intricate detail of your life. And you said it, what you just said made me think of that.
Yeah.
Is that I think that sometimes we don't know how to support through hard seasons because we don't support because we don't consult God first.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that now, and it's crazy to say, with my beloved young child that is a preteen,
mm-hmm.
that I have to keep saying, Lord, forgive me for. I'm serious, y'all. And he's not a girl. He's not a girl. So you know how the sassiness could come out, and how you can see it repeating yourself. It's crazy that with him, I see me. He acts just like me when I was his age. And one day I had to call my mom to apologize. I'm so sorry. I am really sorry because my daughter bypassed this, and it's him. He is the absolute one that acts like me.
Yeah.
But the Lord showed me, but he's mine.
Yeah.
So you have to know what season you're in with him.
Yeah.
It's no longer treating him like this, but now you have to treat him like this.
Right.
But this is the one I have to keep repenting for, saying, Lord, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that to him. Just help me get my life together. But I say all that to say that I've learned that lesson. But even with the husband, learning a lesson too, because the way I loved you in the beginning was, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
But again, going back to sometimes love is silent.
Yeah.
Sometimes love is patient. Sometimes love is just being kind. And sometimes love is just suffering. And people would probably be like, what? Yes. Like it is long suffering sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that people just forget that sometimes, even though you love a person in a season, it does bring suffering.
Yeah.
But it's different type of suffering when you're suffering with God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have peace that guides you through it.
Yeah.
You have help that guides you through it. You have strength that guides you through it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So even in all of that, regardless of what the circumstance is, no matter what the report is, no matter what may come your way,
yeah,
you have an understanding, and you can take delight and knowing that you have victory on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think over the years, it's 6 years this year, but I think over the years, that's one of the things that I had to really learn.
Yeah.
Was to literally take delight in the trials and the tribulation. It's a scripture, and I know it, but it's like literally on the tip of my tongue, but I can't even think about it. So Lord, just bring it to my mind. But it's literally a scripture that I remember I used to have to say, like, it was just, it wasn't this, but it was almost like finding pleasure in the trial. Right. I can't remember what the scripture is, but it was kind of like what you just said, taking delight in, the trial and the tribulation. But even though God never had, Jesus never had cancer or all these natural things, his suffering overrides all of, all of what these medical things are on earth. And I think that he showed what I feel like what it looks like to love in a hard season. Yeah. To be real with you, right? He knew what was to come, but he was still loving thy neighbor as thyself, even sitting at the table with a betrayer. Yeah. And it was like he knew what season he was about to walk into. He was about to suffer. Yeah. But I think that sometimes people forget that there's human moments in love.
There's absolutely human moments in love. Yeah.
He literally cried out, like, take this thing away from me. Take this cup away from me. But then he just like, you know what? I know I have to do this. Not thy will, but thy will be done. But it's like, I feel like sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. But it's just like, take a second and kind of just step back and ask God, how am I supposed to love this person? Whether it be a kid, a son, a daughter, a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever it is through a hard season.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Since we're here, you kind of brought it up a little bit. What does it look like, your let thy will be done moment, where you're going through the pain?
Bro, don't ask me that.
How about this?
No, you can ask me that.
Let me rephrase it. How do you get to the let thy will be done moment while you're going through the pain?
So can I be real with you? Yeah. It's a lot of resetting and a lot of Jesus. It's a word I'm trying to use, not resetting. It's a lot of renewing. There we go. Yeah. It's a lot of renewing of the mind. Yeah. Because it is having human affliction, right? But then it's like, but I know that I serve someone that knows that I can, like, I serve somebody that I know that I can call on. Yeah. Right? And it's like, this too shall pass and it's not going to be hard. Yeah. But sometimes I succumb to it and I cry. Yeah. And you know what those cries look like, right? Mm-hmm. Those cries are cries of, why me? Right. And then again, it's the renewing of the mind that has to take place and saying, why not me? You chose me as your vessel and I can still do, because this is the thing, and you kind of said it, that when people are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and this is not everybody, because it's people that, a girl that I know at my place of employment, and I wouldn't have never known, and she didn't know until I came out on social media about it. So like we didn't know each other had it, and I wouldn't. She found like, but she goes through when she goes through. But I think that sometimes I was just telling someone this the other week. I'm reminded of what it's not, if that makes sense, and that helps push me through. Not my will, but your will be done. And then I remind God of what he said to me. And I said, well, if you said that I'm supposed to do this, how can I do this if I'm doing this? Right. And I feel like it's not suppressing the pain because I'm acknowledging that the pain is there, but it's just me pushing through the pain, knowing that it's going to be a victory on the other side. I think Pastor Ted, he said it a while ago, and he brought it back up again in the series that he was, teaching a couple of months ago. But he said that about the 3 forms of healing. He said it's instant, it's progressive, or even eternal. And I think when I got to that, I'm okay, even though sometimes I'm not okay. But I think when I got to God, I'm okay if it is eternal. I'm okay, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that means that if I live the rest of my years on this earth, and this thing doesn't disappear off my brain, and it doesn't disappear off my spine, I'm okay with that. Right. That means that when I get to heaven, I'm going to be pain-free. Yeah. I'm going to be, symptom-free. But right here, he's called me to exemplify the odds and show what the odds look like. Yeah. Because, again, I know people that just got diagnosed, and they're, I remember when I was getting diagnosed, and all these people was it was weird. It was like God was telling people to come to me to remind me of, oh, honey, this ain't what you think it is. Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, I was like, remember you told me, I was telling you about, I met somebody, and I don't know how we started talking about MS, and he's like, oh, well, my sister-in-law in a wheelchair, and she just got diagnosed. And it was like, wait, what? And she got 1 lesion. Yeah. And here I got 3 on my brain and 1 on my spine. Yeah. And that's the thing, even, honey, with the potential of there being another one. Right? That they think that they discover. And it's just like,
we'll beat that one too. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Let's go to the comments a little bit. So Patrice said, can you honestly say that we as couples make room in each other's evolution? Like who you are at 20 is not the same person you are at 30,
absolutely.
40,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's just even when I said that I love my husband differently. Yeah. Because I think we grow, we evolve. Like just like what you're saying, Patrice, like even with as friendships, right? Yeah. In the beginning, you know how it is. You're like, oh girl, you my sister. And then y'all just kind of hang. And then it's like, as you form a relationship with the other person, female, or like friend, husband, as you form that relationship over time, you're like, oh, she a rider. Like, she always there for me. Oh, I really love that girl. Yeah. And it's a different type of love. So I think that definitely with marriage, it's completely different. Yeah. Like, in the beginning, when I first got married, I probably could say that I wouldn't do this with you. Like, you know what I mean? But then, like, progressively over years, I'm like, man, I couldn't have did this with nobody else but you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead. You was about to say something else?
No, I was just going to say, Pastor Keeper said, wow, I just joined and would have never known the way you felt about the MS.
I ain't going to lie. Like, it don't be easy. Yeah. I'm going to say it just like that because that's how it be. I'm like, God, this ain't easy. It is not easy. It is not. It is you know how, like, and I don't know what I don't think I know what depression feels like, right? But there are times where there was a season I felt like it was depression. Right. But it's the time when, you know how people say just some days I can't get out the bed? It's like some days that I can't get out the bed, but I get out the bed and I still work. Bro. Yeah. And it's like sometimes when like even with the cold, it's like I'm shaking, but people don't know I'm shaking. Don't know. It's like even with the heat, some days it's too much, and I'm beyond exhausted.
It's crazy though because people don't understand that any extreme of hot or cold can set you into a setback or a symptom.
It can.
So like even in that perspective of, like even sometimes as a husband, I have to slow you down because like if you're doing too much, you're doing, and then
it's so annoying.
And I'm fussing with you, like, yo, will you stop? No, I can do it. And it's just like, I don't need you to prove you can do it. I just need you to stop.
You know, and that's the thing that I think that's such an adjustment too that you have to overcome with accepting help. And I think even when you know, we can just be super women sometimes. So I just think that it is accepting help. But I did want to say, Scott, again, I think that we're very transparent, and
Absolutely.
I will have this conversation with anybody. But I just pointing at you, not pointing at you, but there was a season that we went through that was extremely rough for a year and a half, and like looking back, I'm just like, yo, bro, like I don't even know how we even got through that to that season. But now I'm speaking, I guess, from my standpoint that it was a very hard season, but to see your determination, it made me love you even more.
Let's talk about it. Let's be more transparent. What season is this?
So this was a season that people didn't know, because it's the same, like, not even trying to be smart. You never know what people are going through, y'all. Treat everybody nice. Treat everybody kind, because you really don't know what people are going through. But I think it was a season where people didn't know, but you lost your job. And you didn't have a job for like a year and a half. And it was one income in the house. And I'm a teacher. And I'm not saying I was broke. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is God provided. Like a ram in the bush.
Absolutely.
But I think that it was a hard, you know, I think finances is the one disaster that will literally tear a marriage apart. But it was just like, it didn't tear us apart, but I feel like the same way with, you know, the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, it was just like, man, if we can get through something that could physically change my body, yo, bro, this is a walk in the park. Even though it's hard, though. It's still hard. Trials and tribulations is still hard, but I think that it was one of those things where I got to go back to what you said, consulting God on how to love you through a hard season. When I felt like you were so defeated, you were so like the look in your face, it was a look of defeat. You were so defeated but determined at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because what it was it was hurt that I was navigating through.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I feel like a lot happened
right at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, you know, where people have backstabbed me that I helped.
Yeah.
People try to discredit, you know, what I've accomplished.
That was a hard season.
Yeah. And then, you know, and then even people lied on me. And tried to create a different scenario onto why I wasn't no longer connected to where I was. And they created false narratives. And not only was it hurt, but then when I consulted God, He said, "Say nothing."
I remember that.
Right.
I was ready to fight everybody.
Right. You were ready to fight
everybody. I was ready to pull up on everybody's doorstep.
You were ready to fight everybody.
And you was like, God said, don't say nothing. I'm like, but He ain't say that to me.
Right.
He said to you. Right. He ain't said it to me.
Right. But the reason, you know, and the crazy part was, it was like the same people who I loved, the same people I helped, was the same people that were lying and creating rumors and even posting things publicly about me. And God said, "Say nothing."
So, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like one of those things to where it's like, because your first natural reaction is, well, God, if I don't defend myself, people might think that it's real or that it may be true. And it's just like, but He said, "I got this. Do you trust me or no?" And the crazy part behind that is that I had to blindly trust God and be who I claim to be within that, to where, okay, now God is preparing you for your next. God is preparing you for the next season that He has for you, to where once you do that and you prepare and you focus on God, then what do you do? What does it do? And the crazy part is, you know, this is crazy. There's people who still believe the lie. There's still people who still discarded me. And here's the funny part. Even when I didn't say anything and I backed up, people still created a narrative and said I did this and I said this, where I was just like, I never even talked to that person because God told me to say nothing, so I kind of went in seclusion per se.
Yeah.
Just to be with God, right? And you know, it is funny because I hear stuff to this day that, well, so and so said you did this, so and so said you this. I'm just like, I'm even like, I don't even care. Like, it's like, it doesn't. It's not going to affect anything that God has for me.
You know, it's crazy, and I think is that when your eyes is on God, and that's where your eyes were at.
Yeah.
So it's like when your eyes were on God, it's hard for people. It's hard for the daggers to really to dag you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard for the stabs to actually for you to feel the stabs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it could be a stab, but it's like this ain't create no blood and no wound. It's like keep stabbing, brother. But you know, or sister, whatever it is. But I'm not saying as a guy, but I'm just saying. But it's like because when your eyes is on the Lord and you're following exactly what He told you to do, it's kind of one of those things where He will keep you so focused on Him.
Yeah.
That it's kind of just like you're not even worried. It's not kind of. It's just you're not worried about what people are saying at the point. But that's that thing where I love when He says think on things that are higher.
Yeah.
You know, and during my day at work, I have to say that, like, yo, I got to think thoughts that are higher. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Think on things that are higher.
Yeah.
Because when you think on things that are higher, you're no longer distracted by the voices. You're no longer distracted by things that people say because it just don't matter. Because it's like, if I'm going through this, I know I got something coming. And it ain't no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bible says that He called us to mount up with wings like eagles, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, if I'm called to be on wings of eagle or be an eagle,
Yeah.
per se, then I can't dwell in the place of pigeons.
Yeah.
Because where they're at is too low for where God is having me flow in.
No,
so therefore, like even for me, it is if I get caught up into defending myself, if I get caught up into trying to prove to other people that that's not true, this is what really happened, or this is what really went on, or this is who I really am, then if I get caught, I get stuck in the cycle of continuing to do that versus allowing God to elevate me to another level.
Yeah, but not only that, it's like you're messing up now. You messing up what God's working on.
Absolutely.
So now He got to go in and clean up your mess. Reverend Caper said, she said, oh my God. She said, yes, oh my gosh, I've been there. She said, been there. That is a hard place. And she said, but look now, yes, I remember when I spoke your necks. You blew all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she definitely said you lose focus, and that's exactly what it is when we get caught up in defending ourselves. Our thoughts are no longer higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, now we coming down to hang amongst pigeons.
Right.
That's not what you said, but that's what I said.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, but what I was saying, that was just a hard place to be in. But I know it was. Sometimes the setups is for the come up. I know seriously, Monica Benson, you got that right. When God spoke His next, and He really will fight your battles. That's all I kept hearing for real, Josina, was literally stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. And I think in that, right? So when you were standing still, you were literally seeing the salvation of the Lord because people didn't know, but doors was opening for you like crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, and what did Monica say? Like, it's set up for the come up and we up. Like, you know what I mean? And you know what's crazy? And even if we were to walk back into not that specifically, but something else, it's just like, yo, God has proven Himself so many times that it's no way that it's not something that we won't be able to get through. Yeah.
And that's real because like even coming out of that season, right, to where I really focus on what God wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, because I focus on Him, He made sure that we were okay.
Yeah.
He made sure that He provided for us. He did all the things that I wasn't naturally able to do because I first trusted Him and did what He told me to do.
And that was real. I can't even. So this is the thing. I think that people forget about God's record.
Yeah.
During hard seasons. Can we be real?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good season. You up on the mountaintop. It's all good. It's flowing. God got me. But as soon as you get to a hard place.
Yeah. It's easy to say God got you where everything's good, right?
People forget where they came from.
Absolutely.
They forget that they were just on a mountaintop and He provided all of that.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you hit a rock and you can't look left, right. You really got to look straight and look up, right?
Yeah.
It's like people forget that He has literally, you got history with God.
Yeah.
He has a record. Like, you know what I mean? And I think, shout out to Pastor Stephanie. She was singing one time and she said, we don't need another miracle. We need a memory.
Yeah.
Like
All
she
it
was
takes
just,
is
she, huh?
All it takes.
All
is
it takes. Listen, I'm not even joking. All it takes is a memory to remind you of where it is that he brought you from, and he could get you through what it is that you're really going through.
Pastor Gabriel said she's praising him no matter what.
That's the thing, and I think no, and that is a good place to be in. I'm serious. She is such, and this the thing with her. Shout out to you too, Pastor Gabriel, because I think I have texted you and messaged you so many times about just watching you from afar.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to know what you're going through. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like people always want to be in people's business, and people always want to know what people going through. But it's like I don't even have to know what she is going through. But what I do know is she means well, and I know that she serves. She exemplifies what it means to show. I can't talk. Jesus.
She exemplifies what it means to show
that she serves a true and living God. Absolutely. I'm so serious. And again, I mean, some things I do know, and some things I don't need to know. Yeah. I will celebrate that woman until she hit a casket. Like, and I will still celebrate her if I'm here and she's not here.
It's funny though
because she is just.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. No, finish your thought.
She is just an example of what it is to go through a hard season.
Absolutely. And
still praise Him through a hard season, and God reveals. And that's the thing too. We forget that God will expose people when their hearts is not right, and when your heart is right, and when you stay in alignment and in righteousness with God, He will expose and open up everything. But we get so consumed with ourself and self pleasures that we forget, God, why you want to do this to me? Yeah. But it's like, yo, you ain't see what I just did? Yeah. I just showed you her next move before she even made it. Yeah. So you could be one up on her. Yeah. Oh,
Pastor Gabriel said he's been so good, and Josina said she's amazing.
She is amazing, Josina.
But I think you said something very important. You said that you can celebrate her regardless of knowing or not knowing what she's going through. And I think that is the test, from the other side of it. That is the test of knowing who is for you and who is really just there to get something from you.
Yeah, that's so good.
And, and a lot of times,
it's really good.
And it's funny though, because I think one of the reasons of God told me not to say anything is because God wanted to illuminate to me who was for me and who wanted something from me.
Yep.
So like even from that perspective, I saw those who wanted my influence, or they wanted me to help them as long as I was in a certain position. Yeah. But then I also saw those who, when I wasn't in that seat, I wasn't in that position, who reached out and says, "Hey, how can I help you? Hey, put some money in your pocket. Come work for me for a little bit. Let me help you."
And shout out to all them people too.
Yes,
because I've been riding with you I've been riding with you for 10 years this year.
Yeah, right.
So I done seen it. The funny part is I seen the up, the down, the up, and the down. Yeah. Right? And I seen the up in the beginning when you were up, right? In the beginning when we first got married, and then I saw when you was down, and I saw the people that was down. They was done. They was gone. They disappeared. And I seen when you came back up again.
And everybody popped back up again.
Everybody popped. Remember, it got to the point. Remember, it got to the point where I was like, "Yo, you gotta stop answering your phone," because it got ridiculous, literally. But then it's like I see that. Not saying that you're down right now, but you're disconnected, and I see that you're disconnected, and the people that were for you, they no longer are connected. Yeah. So that's the crazy part. It's still like a one or two.
There's a couple of them.
It is.
I would say it's more than one or two. There's a few of them who will still hit me just to check on me.
Yep, and I love that.
And that right there is very important, because one of the things that I've learned is that just in the industry that I'm in, there's a rotating door. Yeah. Right? So people are in season.
So they come and go. Yep.
Come and go. Yep. So even from that perspective of, I'm seeing some people are starting to get that more and more. And then those are the ones who will check in and just say, "Hey, just want to check on you, see how you doing."
Yeah, but I feel like people, and this is not just for that season. I mean, for that specific industry, but I think sometimes people forget that. That's why I said it pays to be kind to everybody. Yeah. It pays to celebrate people. You don't even have to know. My guest last week, I remember I told her, I was like, we met each other one time in person. You had me on your but girl, she just got married a month ago. I was rooting for that girl. I was screaming at my phone like, you better come on. But I say that to say, because you don't know when it's going to be your turn to not come on. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. People forget that it can happen to them too. So it's like, just because you down or just because you're disconnected, it doesn't mean that you can't still be connected, if that makes sense. And it's like, I think that, again, people forget that at any time this could be me. At any time God can say, oh, it's over. I don't remember, but I think it was somebody, I don't remember. Anyway.
But even from that perspective, I think that kind of shows the people who we are.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think a lot of people miss, because they're so focused on trying to get something from us, and they miss that we literally have pastors' hearts.
Yeah.
That's because, we don't know when, but that's because God has placed the call of pastoring on our lives. And, even though that's scary, even though that's something that we're like, wait, not yet, but that's still just who we are. And, so even from that perspective of the preparation of that, and being the type of people who wants to please God that much more, to where that's the focus. And even when people hurt us or disappoint us, we don't let it stay there.
We don't let it stay there. And one of the things is this, and I was literally telling I was literally just telling my coworker, we was coaching each other through. Yeah. I was coaching her through, it's like a little situation. But what I was saying to her, I said, she can, I said, she can cuss me and I still will speak. Cause that thing don't, you know what I mean? We always look at the person, but we don't ever look at the fact that the person can be operating in a spirit.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's that thing where I say we got to be so spiritually alert, spiritually aware, and discerning. But it's like, you mad at her, but she being used by the enemy. You should be mad at the enemy. You know what I mean? If someone is not speaking well or speaking, the words of God, then I'm not saying that it's just for the enemy, but I'm just saying he will easily use you, even when the person is speaking well. But what I'm saying is, we are always quick to look at the person, but not the spirit that is behind the person or the spirit that is using the person. So I say that to say, because you could call it what you want to call it, the heart of God, pastor's heart, whatever you want to say. But I just think that you can literally cuss me out. I've had it done, y'all. Them kids, them kids, they don't give me a paycheck, but them kids I work for, where I get my paycheck from. Yeah. And you know what I say? And I'm still, and I say it so prideful, and I'm still going to be here tomorrow, right. And I'm going to still show up, right. Literally because it don't bother me. And I tell them, like, it's okay. You could be going through something right now, because there's days where I'm not going to cuss you, but I may show up and have, not such a great, least interaction with you. And the first thing what's wrong with you today? Not just like, my stomach hurt, and they be like, all right, we'll leave you alone. Yeah. But I say all that to say is because that's just the heart and what we as a people of God's kingdom people, we're supposed to be that way.
Yeah, it is just to even be more transparent. That's literally our prayer every day, right? We literally intentionally pray every day, allow people to see God through us. Yeah, to that way we're operating into who He wants us to be and not us. Because if we show up, I know me for sure, I used to throw people away. But until I had the revelation of it's the spirit they're operating in and not the people, not the person. Until I had that revelation, that made me says, all right, God, I'll deal with them again. And it's hard sometimes.
It is very hard sometimes. But I think the one thing about it is when we're being reminded that it's really not about us. And I think that one of the things that God, I feel like He revealed to me during the fast is that about just resetting and slowing down. Because I think that what happens is he was talking to me, but like you get reminded that you get so consumed and caught up in your emotions. Yeah. And I think that's what, I'm not going to lie, like we all emotional people out here. Like we're emotional beings. So it's like, especially women, like to be real with you, but no matter how gangster we could be, we still are emotional beings. But yeah. Can I ask you my second question, or you want something else to say?
You can.
Okay. So it's not even a second question. Well, it is a second question. But how do we protect our marriage from outside noises? So opinions, expectations, or distractions. And I will take this for how do we protect our marriage as a unit? But then I will take this for maybe that someone is not married.
Right.
So how can they protect their self from outside distractions or from outside noises that could be distractions? Opinion.
I think that it's one. I think a couple things. I think one is being intentional of knowing each other enough or spending enough time with each other enough to where the other is not missing you.
Yeah.
And then also too, what comes with that is spending enough time with each other to where if the other person hears something crazy, that's not true. I'm with them. Like,
I think about last night. I'm cracking up. We was on the phone with D.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I need to watch you, right? But you know what's crazy though? Can I be real with you? It's one of those things where this is why praying for your spouse to be or your partner in your marriage too, while you're in your marriage is important. Because if you're asking God for something, He's going to deliver it.
Yeah.
But I think it is us.
Yeah.
Is how we handle the delivery, if that makes sense. Do we just throw the box and forget about the box? Do we open it, receive it, say, oh my God, I really love this? Or is it kind of one of those things where we open it and we just leave it sitting there?
Right.
And what I mean by that is, are we going to really believe if I ask God, like, to protect your eyes from other women, am I really going to believe that God protect your eyes from other women? Yeah. Yes. I opened the box. I said, oh God, I love this gift, and I embraced it. And I said, thank you very much.
Right.
But I think the thing is that I am very aware. That's number one. Because it's not you, it's them. Right? And I'm very alert. And it don't matter if it's a male, and I'm not saying coming at your neck, but like coming at you in a, like a sexual manner, but a male that will try to, attack or, deformation of character, whatever it is, I will attack. Okay? That's one thing. I fight men.
She will attack, and I'm the one that pulls her back.
I'm so serious, but no, but I'm just joking. But I'm not. So I was just no, I know. No, I don't want to fight you. I really want to just love God's people. But no, but I think like the noise is being sober minded. Yeah. It is very important to be sober minded, alert, and aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Pastor Caper said, keep people out of your business, number one.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did too. No joke. Yeah, no joke, right? So yeah, teacher. Yeah, it's no joke. Teacher's no joke. So she really. That's not a joke. She really will come for you, and that's for sure.
And it's crazy because I have a right to protect.
Absolutely.
So it's the same way that my husband has a right to listen. My man, the guy will pull up in a second. Oh, you need me to come down? No, babe. Hold on. Stand down. I'm at work. Chill out.
I'll be right there.
Because I will. And I'm like, no, stand down. But it's like, as a wife, too, I have a right to protect because ain't nobody out here going to be out here doing nothing they ain't supposed to be doing.
Right.
I protect them with my sword, with my word of God. I put on the helmet of salvation. I put on the breastplate of righteousness. And I put up the belt, the gird my loins, and my boots, my marching boots.
And it's funny, though, because you even said that. Because, when we first got married, you saw that side of me, right? To where dudes jump in your DMs or somebody saying something sideways. Hello? Yeah. So we're not going to have this anymore. If I need to pull up, understand I know where you at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't coming from a place of trying to put fair. I was dead serious.
Yeah.
Right? And it was people who I knew. So it was just kind of like, listen, I understand that, you may have known her before. Her and I got together, got married, but understand, I am now her husband. So therefore, because you learned that information, you cannot cross that boundary.
Yeah.
I will absolutely find you.
Yeah.
I will absolutely see you somewhere because we have common places.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time you felt, he's like, oh my God, why would you do that? I said, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah, because I was just friendly. That's all. I was just like, that's friendly.
No, and it's funny though because it even switched, right? To where now I'm so oblivious to things because I'm focused on 100 other things that I'm trying to do and accomplish. To where you'll see stuff and then you like, hold on, I addressed this, and then I find out later. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Wait, who did what?
That's why I just stay sober minded. That's why I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't get high. Because I gotta be. I'm just playing. No, well, I'm not just playing. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't get high. No, I don't. I don't do none of the above. The Lord has delivered me. But I say that to say that's why we have to be sober. That's why we have to be sober minded.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is the last thing I want to say before I ask you my last question. But I used to say this all the time: is that you are a holder of your peace. So it could be so much chaos going around you, but you hold the peace. It is your decision to allow people to come and disrupt your peace. Good. So I think that's the other thing when with the question was, how do we protect our marriage, is that we don't allow those things to infiltrate. Like, we don't even entertain those things. You know what I mean? So even if I see, this the thing, even if I see something, it's like my presence is enough to demolish that thing. And I'm not even being smart. And and this is one thing I love about my friends. Because my friends will, come here, Tidra. Come here. And they're not saying anything. They're making people aware that, oh, this is his wife. Right. I ain't gonna shout them friends out, but shout out to their friends. You know who you are.
It's funny though, because I even find myself doing that, because I remember somebody was like, "Hey, Minister Kyle, have you seen such and such?" Right over there where my wife is.
Yep, I remember you said that. Very intentional about the words that we use. And again, I trust my husband, and I know that I do what I'm supposed to do as a wife, even on days I don't feel like being a wife. But no, we have a covenant agreement, and our covenant agreement was before God. So the whole thing is, I already told him that if you ever thought about it, I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want the people to come get me.
Oh my gosh.
But I said, I will hurt you. And I'm not playing about it. Like, I'm really not.
I'm fine with that.
I keep trying to tell him, y'all, I went to Cheney and I'm crazy. I used to be crazy. I used to be crazy. So I be telling him, like, I went to Cheney. I used to be crazy. Like, if you went to Cheney, you used to be crazy. Some of the stuff we did for our little Cheney boyfriends, whatever it was, like, yo, we should have been locked up, yo. No, but I'm just joking about that. But I'm joking about that I will hurt you. Because I made a covenant before God, so the thing is that I won't even have to thrash you. God will.
Right, and that's the
so I'm not worried about me having to do anything, because God will do it, because it says, touch not thy anointed one and cause thy prophet no harm. Absolutely. And if you're causing me harm, you better take that up with my Father.
No, and that's a real thing though, because I think a lot of times as men we have to learn to love God enough to not cheat on Him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where we're not backsliding with Him, because outside of who I am to you, I am first who I am to Him.
Yeah.
And when I break that covenant, or I do things like against our marriage, then I absolutely have to deal with my Father.
Yeah.
Because the covenant is the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So now if one of us break that, then Daddy has to step in.
Reverend Keisha said, I'm a gospel gangster. She said, my former husband was a good guy before Cheney, they tell me.
Oh my gosh.
Cheney, man, I love Cheney.
I don't know. Cheney did something to y'all. I don't know.
I'm cracking up. She said, I've been there and I didn't have to, but at first not playing though. I tell my couples, as you become best friends, you know your mate. Yeah. No, that's real, but I think it's just that my husband really knows the boundaries not to cross, and I know the boundaries not to cross.
I was saying, you know the boundaries not to cross.
Anyway, Reverend Caper said yes when they crossed it. She said Terry's coworker said it at the funeral. I will call and ask, who is this? Yeah, but no, I just, in the beginning, I remember I used to be like, yo, I'm like, who that? Who that on your phone? Who calling you? Who calling you? Now it's like, I already know who calling you. Yeah.
That's the same three people that called me. That's why now you're asking them.
Because I know exactly who it is. Cracking up. Right. No, but, okay. So, but here go my last question.
Okay.
So, okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Your daughter said that she should be done soon.
Okay.
She said, not yet. All right. Her patient came.
All right. Good.
I know, right? Here go my last question. But I think this is a good one, and this is why I say this is a good one, because I think this goes for women and women, men, whatever. It just goes how we support each other's calling without competing.
Yeah. Okay. What's the question?
So how you support me?
Okay.
It's not necessarily a question, but I just think it's not necessarily a question, but maybe your intentions, or maybe you could just talk about it a little bit.
Well, I will say this is that it's I guess for me, I never see it as a competition.
Right.
I think from day one, it never has been.
Yeah.
It's more so as in, if you want to do something, I'm already looking at how to support it. I'm already looking at how can I invest into it to make the dream come true. And because for that, I understand that I am a visionary as well, and it takes help to do that.
Yeah.
And in other words, what I do is, when it comes to you, is I know you're supposed to be my helpmate, but in order for me to help cultivate that, I must now show you what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so if you're seeing competition, or me competing with you, or me always want to do what I got to do or what to do, and I shoot down your dreams or shoot down what the vision that God has given you, then how can you be a suitable wife for me if I'm giving you nothing to work with?
Yeah.
So for me, it is, okay, how can I support that? How can I do that? And it's funny though, because I just give this example, right? You told me one day that you wanted to start a podcast, right?
Here I am.
Right, here she is, right?
Shaking my head.
But this was years ago, before, it was like maybe 2 years before it actually started, right? And what ended up happening was, because the way I am with her, is once you say you want to do something, I'm setting up the business.
That's why I don't say nothing no more, y'all. I keep them inner thoughts and write them in the book.
And it's funny.
The man of God holds me accountable.
Right. So I'll literally invest and get everything that is needed to accomplish the goal. And she's just like, wait, why do you buy those? Why do you buy this? And like, even for you, he was like, no, I'm just gonna do it for my cell phone. I said, absolutely not. You're not gonna do that for your cell phone.
And I'm fussing. Why would you spend all that money on this? Why would you buy this? Because I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this, y'all. And I'm using all 5 of these lights down there.
Right. We got
that he done bought, and I was like, why you buy that? Just keep this one ring light. I'm fine. Got my cell phone. No. We good to go.
Right. No. We got 5 lights down here. We got studio microphones. That's for broadcasting. So we have a mixer that everything is flowing through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally get everything, right? And these microphones aren't cheap. I was gonna be real with that. One is not cheap. So just from that perspective, and here's where God showed me that, he rewarded me for my obedience, right? Because I was obedient enough to get what you are investing you, per se, right? The time when you weren't yet using it, opportunity came for me to get a nationally syndicated radio show, and I needed all the equipment that I purchased for you for myself. And how about this? And at the time I needed it, I didn't have the money to go now purchase the equipment that I needed to execute the goal. But because I was obedient the 2 years prior, or the year prior at that point, before you started, if I wasn't obedient, I wouldn't have been in the right position to achieve the goal. So from that perspective, is if I look at you as competition, and I'm not invest in you as my wife, then there's a lot of things that I will miss, because we were made to be one. We were made to walk things together. So somehow these roles always intertwine.
Yeah.
We have different roles separately, to where this is what I do, this is what God has you do. Yeah. But at some point they have to intersect.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say on that note. In all honesty, I was going to say that I think the thing is that God really reminded me. This was years ago. Not reminded me, but He said, you have your own ministry. Yeah. He has his own ministry, and then y'all have a ministry together. Yeah. Because he can't go and minister to women the way that you can minister to women.
Absolutely. I remember
he said that, and it's like the same thing. Like when we were talking about building, it was like, we need to build this business. Like, but God kind of was like, yeah, that's good. Like, but you need to build what you're going to do. He needs to build what he's going to do, and y'all also need to build what y'all going to do together. But I think that's the thing that honestly reminds me to stay grounded, in all honesty. And not that I would ever even want to compete with you, because what I realized is over the years, even though, it's a lot of moving, it's a lot of moving body parts. It's different body parts, but one function. Yeah. And I think, and that's a good reminder for me. that God has given us, you got an arm, but I got a leg, right?
Absolutely.
And even though you got an arm and leg, but your leg don't walk like mine.
Absolutely.
So it's like you have a calling and I have a calling.
Absolutely.
And you are called to the people and I'm called to the people, but it looks completely different.
Absolutely.
And I think that when I preach off my iPad, you look at me like I'm crazy.
I do look at you like you're crazy.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know, but I was just messing. I'm just saying that to say. But then when you get up there, man of God, and you got your little iPad and you don't use it, I'm like, that's my man of God. That's how I want to be. But no, so I say that to say we could do the same thing, but in two different ways.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's the thing though. I'm being a little transparent. I mean, I was just talking about this with last week with Dejanay, but when you preach, or not even when you preach, when I hear you encouraging a man that calls you on the phone, it's like he like I'm laughing because you be like you
because you'll start talking to.
Because I will start talking, but it's just like
there
go my man of God being a man of God. But I just feel like I'm like encourage the people, because at one point you weren't like that. Yeah. You didn't want to talk to people.
Right.
You didn't want to have because you're an introvert, so you didn't want to have no. You didn't. Oh yeah, you would talk, but it wasn't like that. You wasn't having empowering conversations, because you was just like, oh yeah, okay, what's up? Oh, all right, thanks. All right, bye. Like that's literally what the conversation was looking like. So when I see it, I get excited the same way that I could celebrate other people, and maybe sometimes, and I'm saying this outwardly, that sometimes my excitement or my celebration could just be quiet, but it could be, Lord, I thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God, thank you that my man of God ain't mentally unstable. You know what I mean? And I'm not being smart, like on drugs, like, or I'm thank you that he hasn't turned his heart away from you, or thank you that, he's not that. And it's just like, it's okay to celebrate. You have a completely different call on your life. So how could I be jealous when God's still revealing in me what it is that I'm supposed to do, according to all these prophets out here that keep prophesying over me. They keep saying, girl, you ain't even scratched the surface to what it is that. So, and I say that to say, if it's only going to get bigger and better, how in the world can I be jealous? You know what I mean? So I have to celebrate the man of God on February 11th on Wednesday when he preaches at 7 p.m. at 333 Preston Avenue in Voorhees, New Jersey, that he's going to be preaching about gossip, y'all.
Yeah,
so I say
help me,
right. And how can I not celebrate that? You're doing what God told you to do. So I think that when you're aligned and you're just like, that man of God is doing what God called him to do, versus selling drugs, versus slinging rock, or whatever it is, it's like, how can I not, celebrate you?
Yeah. And it's funny though, because even me being a preacher now, even me being a minister and having the opportunity to minister to people, it's something that I humbly do. It's not, it's like one of those things to where it's like, as trifling as I've been, as many mistakes that I've made, God still chose me. And it's just one of those things to where, okay, every opportunity I get, I have to encourage someone. Every opportunity I get, I have to be able to minister to someone. But then also, too, I have to stay ready, because it's hard to become wet in a dry place. Mm-hmm. So even from that perspective, I have to make sure that I always stay wet in the Word, to where now when it's time for me to spring forth, I have something to deliver.
Yeah. I want to encourage the people just to remember that, that God has called you. And I think sometimes we think and we say, so this is one of the things I remember I said to somebody, and I said, a long time ago, he didn't tell me that I was going to be this, but he told me I was going to be this. But this is, I stand 10, and it could be based on biblical, I really don't know, but what I do believe is as we mature and grow into ourselves, then he reveals more gifts to us and more, more things that we are supposed to do. So I just want to encourage somebody out there that may feel like, but this is my purpose and this is it. And it's like, no, God's like, nope, that's not it. That's not saying that what you're doing is not it, but saying that there's more for you. I think that the thing in the Word, when it says we go from glory to glory to glory, right? Yeah. So it's like that this level of glory could just be you being the wife that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But the next level of glory could be the wife that you're supposed to be, that starts the wife's group. And then the next glory could be the one where you are a motivational, encouraging speaker, encouraging women, around the world. So I just think that sometimes we forget that there's something inside of us. And as God unleashes, as we grow and mature more, there is more for us to grow into. So yes, your purpose could be, to have a fivefold ministry. You can be a teacher, but God said, He may say, I want you to be the lead teacher of all teachers. You know what I mean? And you would never imagine yourself being over 50 teachers, or you could be called to be an evangelist. And you can never imagine in God's green earth that you would be, this evangelist that is, famous. And I'm not saying that's what is any, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I just think, again, I just want to encourage somebody that thinks that this is it. Yeah. It's like, no, God has more for you. How do I know? Because I thought that I was just going to be this little old girl to just be a good person in the whole wide world. And I'm not joking. Like, I just thought that God called me to be nice to people. He called me to be kind to people. And I thought that He just wanted me to literally just talk about Him every chance that I got. But God's like, nope, I got more for you. So now I want you to go here and talk about me. And I want you to be in the workplace, and I want you to talk to your students, and I want you to offer me the salvation to someone, and I want you to do this. So it's just so much more. And I think that I want you to be reminded not to be consumed with what you're going through, but I want you to be reminded that it's not about you, but it's about God. It's about what He wants, and it's about Him getting the glory.
Yeah. So just as we close, I know we're about to close, I just want to, I wouldn't be the preacher that I am without giving scripture context or an anecdote per se to go along with what we're talking about today.
Y'all see my face and I just roll my eyes.
Yeah. So when I think about just our relationship, right? Mm-hmm. I think about Abraham and Sarah. I think about, regardless of what Sarah had going on, mm-hmm. or what Sarah or what Sarah didn't have going on, Abraham never discarded her.
Yeah.
And so he still supported her, he still loved her, and he stayed with her regardless of whatever it may be, right? So for me, that has shown me, regardless of any ailment, regardless of any mistake, yeah. regardless of the good and the bad or anything in between, my responsibility is to always be present and to always love you.
Yeah.
And, so even just thinking about their love story, I think is just that much important to where, I have to love you as Christ loved the church and also exemplify being Abraham to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amen. All right, y'all.
I just want to give a little word to that.
Well, thank you. Well, I thought we talked about the word. Well, I guess we were talking about the word. Nah, but thank you guys for tuning in. We really love you. We really appreciate you for listening to us tonight. So I will see you next Monday.
Do you know what's going on next Monday yet?
Nope, it's just going to be me. And we're going to just be talking about whatever we want to talk about.
All right. Well, okay. Well, if you need me, I'm available. We'll call my agent first. We got to talk to my agent.
All right, y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to share. Please don't forget to subscribe to Fall Into Victory Podcast on YouTube. So literally, you can go to YouTube right now and you can type in Fall Into Victory Podcast and you can watch every episode from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So please make sure you subscribe, like, and share.
Amen.
I really appreciate you taking the 1 hour and 12 minutes out of your time to listen to myself and my co-host, my part-time co-host.
Bless you.
Nah, I really appreciate it, y'all. I'll see y'all next Monday at 8 p.m.